The research station hung in orbit like a shard of glass, its surface reflecting the pale blue of the planet below. From its windows, one could see the wide oceans and drifting cloud formations of Elora, a world newly surveyed by humanity. To most of the crew, it was just another stop in the long chain of exploration. But for Lieutenant Daniel Cade, it was something far more personal. Daniel was the junior xenolinguist assigned to the Endeavour, the flagship of the Terran Exploration Corps. His job wasn't glamorous. While soldiers and engineers made headlines back on Earth, his life was buried in datapads, translation algorithms, and deciphering patterns in alien communication. He often joked that if humanity ever met extraterrestrials who wanted to discuss poetry, he'd be the only one on the ship who could manage a conversation. But Elora was different. The first signs hadn't come from sensors or probes, but from melody, fragments of sound drifting up from the ocean below. Not static, not noise, but something that carried rhythm and tone. It was Commander Vera, the officer in charge of cultural contact, who asked Daniel to join the descent team. When the shuttle broke through the clouds, Daniel leaned toward the viewport and saw them, the Elorians. They rose from the ocean like myths reborn, towering luminous figures, their forms half human, half aquatic. Translucent fins shimmered from their arms, their skin glowed faintly in the dim sun, and their eyes reflected light like polished obsidian. They moved with elegance, each step calculated, like a dance that had been rehearsed for centuries. The soldiers tightened their grips on weapons. Daniel, however, was speechless. One figure stood apart from the rest. Taller, her body framed by a cascade of bioluminescent strands flowing from her head like hair woven from starlight. She did not speak. She only observed. "She must be their leader," Commander Vera muttered. But Daniel felt something else, something he couldn't define. Pull almost magnetic. The beginning, the silence between words. The first week was filled with cautious exchanges. The Elorians did not communicate in ways humans easily understood. Their voices were layered with harmonics, chords within chords, a language of resonance as much as words. Daniel immersed himself in recordings, spending sleepless nights trying to untangle meaning from the alien songs. He noticed quickly that the luminous woman was always present. She stood behind the others, silent, her gaze steady. Daniel caught himself looking for her even when he tried not to. One evening, after hours of analysis, Daniel wandered down to the observation deck. The ocean stretched endlessly beneath the station, reflecting the twin moons of Elora. And there, standing in the water itself far below, was her, the alien woman, alone. Daniel pressed a hand to the glass. She raised her head as if sensing him, though she could not possibly see through the distance. For a moment, he swore her glow brightened. It was then he whispered it, almost without thinking. "She's the most beautiful I've seen." The words left his mouth like a confession, carried into the quiet hum of the station. He hadn't meant for anyone to hear. But she did. Somehow, impossibly, she did. Slowly, achingly slowly, she turned to face the station. Her gaze, black and endless, locked with his. Daniel felt his chest tighten as if gravity itself had increased. He stumbled back, heart racing. She had heard him. The middle. Secrets beneath the waves. From that night on, Daniel noticed changes. During diplomatic meetings, her eyes lingered on him, not the commander's. When he presented translation attempts, she leaned closer, listening with intent that felt sharper than any soldier's weapon. Finally, during one tense negotiation, she broke her silence. Her voice, clearer than the rest, melodic yet sharp, echoed across the chamber. The other Elorians fell silent at once. Daniel's translation device stuttered but managed fragments. The one who names beauty speaks truth among strangers. The delegation erupted. Humans murmured, confused. But Daniel understood. She was referring to him. After the session, Commander Vera cornered him. "Lieutenant, what in God's name did you say to her?" Daniel flushed. He couldn't exactly admit he had whispered about her beauty to himself. Instead, he answered, I don't know. Maybe she picked something from my linguistic analysis. Or you've somehow become the focus of an alien leader's attention," Vera snapped. "Careful, Lieutenant. This is diplomacy, not courtship." But it was already too late. That night, Daniel was summoned. A shuttle took him alone to the surface, where glowing reefs pulsed with light like living cities. She awaited him, standing upon a platform of coral grown into impossible spirals. "My name," she sang, each note resonating in his bones, "is Serenia." Daniel bowed clumsily. "I'm Daniel." She studied him, tilting her head like a predator measuring prey. "You speak of beauty." His throat tightened. I didn't mean offense." Her lips curved, whether smile or sneer he couldn't tell. "Not offense. Truth. Few dare speak truth before Serenia, keeper of currents." From that night she met with him in secret. Beneath the water, surrounded by schools of glowing creatures, she taught him her language, not through translation but through immersion. Notes, chords, and gestures became meaning. And as days stretched into weeks, meaning became connection. He learned of her people's history. A civilization older than Earth, yet scarred by wars fought with resonance weapons that shattered minds instead of bodies. They had retreated beneath the waves, fearing silence, fearing outsiders. But with Daniel she did not fear. And he could not deny it, was falling for her. Rising tension, the rift between worlds. News traveled fast. The Corps discovered his secret meetings. Accusations of compromised diplomacy swirled. Some whispered that he was being manipulated, seduced by alien tactics. Commander Vera confronted him again. Daniel listened carefully. Humanity can't afford weakness here. The Elorians respect strength. They'll see your fascination as submission. End this. But Daniel couldn't. Not after what Serenia revealed one night beneath the waves. "There is a storm," she sang, her voice trembling for the first time. "Beneath the ocean floor. A resonance core unstable. If it awakens, it will destroy not just my people, but yours above." Daniel's blood ran cold. "Why haven't you told the others?" "They would not listen. They hear only war and peace. You hear truth." Humanity's commanders dismissed it as myth when Daniel reported it. "Seismic activity, nothing more," Vera insisted. "Don't let her fill your head with superstition." But Daniel trusted Serenia. When the tremors began, proving her right, it was too late for hesitation. The resonance core, a relic of ancient wars, was destabilizing, threatening to rupture the planet itself. And Serenia had a plan. Dangerous one. The climax. The song that shook the stars. Deep beneath the ocean, in caverns lined with crystal, the core pulsed like a beating heart. Its resonance grew stronger by the minute, vibrations shaking entire cities. Serenia led Daniel to the edge of the abyss. "It must be calmed," she said, voice trembling with both fear and resolve. "But only one who carries no history of war may sing the counterchord." Daniel's stomach dropped. "You mean me. You are untouched by the scars of our past."